Hello everyone, my name is Terry Tripp and this is my class, Cartoony Character Creation. Welcome and I'm glad you're a part of it. During the next couple of weeks we're going to be learning how to do concept design for characters, particularly cartoony characters. So if you're a beginning art student who doesn't have a whole lot of experience in arts, and you have an interest in drawing cartoon characters, this class is a class for you. Now there's a few supplies that we can use to get started with this class. And the recommended supplies are a wooden pencil, something that we can kind of keep dull so we can use for shading and some of our line work. A mechanical pencil, something that we can use for our very, very light sketching. Some sort of black pen to ink our line work. And an eraser that we hold with our hand. These erasers on the tip of our end of our pencils don't last very long, so some type of eraser we can hold in our hands. What I like to suggest too, if you haven't used one before, is a kneaded or gum eraser. These are nice because when you erase with these, it doesn't leave behind eraser dust. So they're kind of neat tools to have. And also color pencils, something to color with. You could use color markers as well if you're interested in those. And some form of sketchbook to keep all of your work in. It's nice to keep your work in a sketchbook, even just your very, very rough sketches, so you can see your developments as time progresses and see how much you're actually improving. Plus, it's nice to keep all your artwork in one area so it doesn't get folded or the pages don't get bent or anything like that. So throughout this class, we're going to be learning how to draw basic cartoony shaped heads, bodies, the eyes, nose, and mouth, and be able to create our own characters from those basic shapes and elements. So I'm excited that you're here. Let's go ahead and get started, and let's go ahead and turn to my digital drawing table. Let's go ahead and begin with the shape of the face. Now, obviously, one of the most simple shapes is the circle. So let's go ahead and sketch out a circle here. When you begin to sketch out a circle, what I want you to do is begin sketching very, very loosely. Don't make super, super heavy, solid, thick lines. Just very, very lightly sketch away until you get the circle you want. As we sketch, the thing I want you to think about is let's go ahead and begin. Let's go ahead and begin with the shape of the face. Now when we're drawing the face, one of the easiest places to begin is with a circle. So let's go ahead and draw a circle here on your paper. As you sketch a circle, what I want you to focus on is being very, very, very loose with your lines. Now what we're going to practice here from the beginning is the idea of sketching instead of drawing. When you draw, what you're going to do is make one dark line. You don't want to do that. We want to practice sketching. Even if you can make a really, really nice circle, I want you to go ahead and sketch. And as you can see here, my circle is not perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and just continue to sketch it out. What I always tell my students is to think of sketching as if you're molding clay. You don't just press once or twice and have the perfect clay. You have to continue to mold it. And that's what I'm doing here with pencil. And that's why artists work in pencil. Now we don't need a perfect circle for this. And if you want to, what you can do is take your eraser and just very, very, very gently kind of go over your circle, as I'm doing here digitally. And you can lighten up your circle. You can barely see it, and then you can really just go over those lines and turn your paper and make it exactly the way you want it to be. Oftentimes when I'm drawing circles, I turn my sketchbook or turn my paper so I can get a little bit more accurate curve. So there's my circle. So with a typical face, what we want to do is put in some guidelines or construction lines here. Here I'm just going to put a very, very light line here and just a very, very light line here. This is going to show that the face is facing more this direction right here, okay? So then I can go ahead and put in one eye right here and this eye right here. And this eye is going to be a little bit bigger than this eye just because it's closer to us, because it has kind of a 3/4 point of view. So really, really simple. Draw the basic, basic face here. So what I'm going to do is just take this, move it up here out of the way so we can see more of the screen. Now another way we could draw a face is to do something like a maybe a triangle. So we could sketch a triangle. If someone's going to have more of a triangular face, do the same thing. Put in the eyes, nose, and mouth. And it's kind of fun. You have a cute little character. Go ahead and take this, move it out of our way. Now we can continue with this and maybe make a face out of a square. And notice here, I could make these lines perfect just by using a ruler, but I'm not really focused on doing that because it's not important. We're sketching. We're in the sketching process right now. And say with a square, I want to have the face looking at us. Very, very simple. Let's move on to maybe a rectangular face. You can go high or low here if you want them to have a larger jaw or a larger forehead. Here we'll do a larger jaw. Okay. Or you could just change that, give them a larger forehead. By going like that. So a lot of fun things you can do there with the shape of the face. Now obviously these are not polished characters. They're just basic shapes of faces. They're beginning points. They're starter points here. And when we don't really know what to draw, or when we're creating cartoony characters, sometimes it's good just to have a starting place so we can begin some character developments. Now you can take these shapes, for example, this one right here, say you take the triangle. So I want to put it upside down. Erase all of this. And then maybe I could draw in the guideline there, and it totally changes the character just by changing him and turning him upside down. So you can completely play with these facial shapes, and then what we can do, which is really fun, is to really do some weird stuff here. So right here, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and kind of sketch an oval. Obviously, these are not final sketches. This is concept design right now. And then I can pull this line here and maybe have it come up, back, around here. And we can do something fun with this type of face. Now, I'm going to go ahead and continue to sketch and sketch to really get this face the shape that I want. Oh, maybe I want this to come out a little bit more. Now I can erase this guideline. I don't need that anymore. Erase some of these messy lines. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. You can do that with your eraser. And then, maybe the eyes, maybe kind of go like that. Maybe there'll be an eye right there, an eye right there, nose right there, and maybe the mouth will be way down here. So you can do some fun things with facial shapes. Let's use some more here. I mean, instead of just drawing a circle or a sphere, it's so much more fun to really create some really interesting shapes, especially for cartoons, where we can give them our more traditional nose that we were using. Let's move on here. Maybe we can let's take the rectangle here, turn it to the side. We'll have fun with this shape. Turn it to the side here. Notice how loose my lines are. I'm not drawing, I'm sketching, and that's kind of what I really want you to remember here. We're sketching, we're not drawing. Yeah, you know, I could go slow and make these lines a lot cleaner, but we're in the sketching process right now. When you sketch, you hold that pencil loosely and you get to be super relaxed. It's a lot more fun. So we'll draw an eye here, an eye here, maybe put the nose right here, and then big old mouth there. And what you could do is, man, maybe I don't like this, maybe I don't like the angle, maybe I want to take these lines in a little bit. And you can really come up with some fun character faces for their facial shapes here. So we have some fun shapes that we're playing around with. And let's do one more here, one more fun shape. You know, let's go back to the circle, this circle right here, but let's add to it to maybe more emulate a traditional skull in a cartoony way. So there's my circle right there. And maybe I'll put kind of like maybe a skeletal, skull-like jaw. I can erase this guideline. Clean this line up a little bit. And actually I want this to have a little bit more of a curve like that. And we're using a pencil and eraser, so it's so easy to change things. We don't have to stress. We're not drawing in pen here. We're just sketching. So let's go ahead and put an eye here, maybe right here. Maybe an eye, a little bit bigger of an eye here. Put in the nose, and maybe there's the smile. So a lot of fun ways to draw a face, to really do some unique things. And let me show you how this works in practice. So I'll go ahead and turn off that layer, open up a new layer, and I'll go ahead and begin, and you can follow along if you want. I'm just going to sketch an oval. Am I stressed out right now? No, this is relaxing. This is drawing. This should be fun. So there's my oval. My hand's super, super loose. I don't have a death grip on my pencil. Really, really loose line. So there's an oval. With the oval, I'm going to kind of decide where do I want, which way do I want my face facing. So maybe I want it facing this way. Okay. And maybe this direction. So I'm going to kind of study that and kind of think, what type of person is this going to be? I'll just start with a he. Does he have a narrow face? Right now it looks more like he has a wide face. You know, it's pretty wide there. Okay. So if I wanted to give him more of a longer face, what I could do is just be right here, just draw a line coming out here, a line coming out here, and kind of have that triangular, see that triangle shape right there? It's an upside down triangle. triangle. And then I can decide, you know, we can probably cut this part off. We don't really need that. And then I'm going to look at this character and think, what could I add? Well, I want to start with the eyes here. So we'll go ahead and put the eyes. Let's go maybe about right here. Okay, maybe the other eye right here. I have a nose. We'll have the nose kind of just maybe come out here. Like that. Just kind of a fun little nose. We'll give his character a mouth. Since the face is so long, of the mouth, maybe come up to this point right here. So I'm just having fun here. I'm sketching things out. Maybe we'll have eyebrow here. Maybe we'll have part of the eyebrow here. Maybe a ear. You can do all types of funny things with ears. Okay. And what I can do now is go ahead and go back and start to clean up those guidelines a little bit. I don't need all these guidelines anymore. So I'm going to go through and start to clean them up so I can really begin to look at the character. Now, for using erasers, you can definitely use the eraser on the top of your pencil. But that, when you're doing serious drawing, that eraser will not last that long. So it's always good to have an eraser as well that you hold in your hands. Something that you can do some massive erasing with. What I always like to recommend are the kneaded erasers, spelled with a K. They're kind of like, they're also called gum erasers. They're nice because you can lightly go over your artwork without erasing the whole thing. If you just want to do a light layer of erasing. So you can still see what's going on, but you're cleaning up your line work a little bit. Okay, so we have a start here with our character. And we're going to kind of pull in the face a little bit more here. And this is where you really get to examine your character and decide what do you want to do. Maybe the mouth right here. Add in a bottom part of the mouth. Maybe I want to clean up this line a little bit. I want this to curve more. And let's put in some pupils. Little trick here is just go ahead and put a little dot in your pupils and makes it look so much more realistic. Go ahead and draw that. And let's go ahead and give this character some hair. So maybe he has some sideburns. Be kind of fun. His hair comes here. Maybe it kind of starts to come out a little bit. Now you never want your hair to go exactly to the skull line because hair has volume to it. It's thick. So it's going to come off of the skull line. So maybe we want, let's have his neck come right here. And then I can go ahead and erase some of these lines. I can erase these guidelines because we kind of have an idea where the neck is going to go. Like that. And it's fun. It's fun to kind of see how your characters, I'll pull this down a little bit, how your characters start to look. And he has like a really funny looking ear. Let's go ahead and change that ear. We're going to alter it. I think he needs a bigger ear. There we go. Such a big difference having that bigger ear. Yeah, I like him a lot more now. So there's a start with our character, and I think these sideburns need to be a lot more. So this is the concept sketch for our character that we're working here, that we made out of a particular shape, his face. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new layer. What you can do here is, just as I talked to you before about your eraser, take your eraser and gently go over your artwork so that it gets lighter. See how it's getting lighter right here? You want to do that with your eraser. Now since it's lighter, I'm going to go to one of my pens. Now you can use a dark pencil, like a thicker pencil. I always like to sketch with a mechanical pencil, and then I go back and do my line work in a dulled down wooden pencil, and I do my shading with a dulled down wooden pencil. Or if you want to, you can just use an ink pen. I'm going to go ahead and take one of my brush pens. This is kind of like a brush pen. This emulates one, at least. As you can see, the line work goes from thick to thin, which is what you can do with a brush pen. And I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to really start to clean this up a little bit. You can really change the way your character looks by your line work. What lines are you going to deem important? Your line with variety. Which lines are you going to make thin? Which lines are you going to make thick? You can cover up a lot of mistakes with your inking process as well. If you ever make a mistake on a certain part of inking, just go ahead and go over that a little bit darker. Now during this process, what I like to do, and I always recommend people to have a art set list, and that's music that relaxes you. Oops. Now some music you want to listen to maybe when you're at the gym. Some music you want to listen to maybe while you're doing your homework, or you're just focusing on something. And that's kind of the music you want to listen to when you're inking. It's something that's going to relax you. Something that's going to calm down your heartbeats. Something that's going to lower your heartbeats. You don't want anything that's going to stress you out. Now you can completely change a character a lot just by the shoulders. Make them look a little bit stronger there with broader shoulders. We can put some detail in the hair. And then what you can do is go back and erase all of your pencil lines so that we just have our character. And look at that, we just created a character. You can go back and add some more ink where it should be added, but there's a good start. There's a fun little character. So we got our first Cartoony character concept right here, and you can give him a name. You can change him up. You can change his nose, his eyes, his mouth, and make him the character that you want him to be. If you want to, you can go through. Maybe you can give him like a stubble, like he needs to shave. You can erase. We can go back and give him some type of beard. It can really change a lot with our character just by those little details that we add. You get to decide. You can change the shirts. You give them stripes, all types of fun things. Give them a headband. Change one of the eyes. Give them some sunglasses. We can give our character glasses. All types of fun things. So you get to decide those details about the character. But in review right now, what we really talked about is the shape of the face. Deciding the shape of your character's face is going to be one of the simple shapes that we first talked about. The circle or the triangle, the square or rectangle, or are you going to kind of morph those together to get more of a organic or unique shape? And then after that, after we get the shape, you can sketch out the face, what it's going to look like, and then go back and really solidify those lines by using maybe a dulled down number 2 wooden pencil to thicken up those lines, or just by using an ink pen and inking up those lines. When we draw the face, the 3 most important things to pay attention to at first are the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So let's go ahead and demonstrate with our good old-fashioned circle again. So let's go ahead and sketch a circle. And with our quick sketch of a circle, I'm going to go ahead and in the middle here, here's one of the middle guidelines. I'm going to go ahead and draw on a nose. Just going to keep it super, super simple for now. And then we'll go ahead and put in the eyes. And we'll go ahead and put in a mouth. I'll go back and erase my guidelines. And there you have a very, very simple face. This is probably similar to the face that most people would draw if you were to stop people on the street and have them draw a very simple happy face. So from there, what we can do is we can improve upon that by changing things up a little bit. So continue to draw another circle. Use my eraser, clean up my lines a little bit. And this time what I'm going to do is take one element and make it a lot bigger. For example, the nose. We'll make it a lot bigger. And then the eyes, instead of having them be where we would probably normally place them, we're going to put them right next to the nose. And then for the mouth, what I'm going to do is put it to the side. And then I'm just going to add 2 little ears. Now with this character, I'm going to go back and sketch in that circle a little bit better. Darken in the mouth. Use my eraser. Clean up the nose. And what we have done is created a character that has a little bit more personality than the first character we just made. Now we can go ahead and improve upon that, or maybe not so much improve, but experiment around. And this time I'm going to take the head and I'm going to squish it. I'm going to take the circle, I'm going to squish it. So it is more like an oval. And then I'm going to add in the very, very big nose. And I'm going to, just for fun, separate the eyes. And then here we can put the mouth right there. So we're having fun changing the way the very simplified face can look. Let's go ahead and keep playing around with this. We can take the face and make an oval that is going vertically. We'll take the nose, instead of having it go this way, we'll make it vertical as well. We'll go ahead and put an eye here, an eye here. We'll draw the mouth, and the ears, go super low. So this character, this character is another that has more personality than just the basic smiling face. So we can even do some more. Let's go ahead and go back to, well, let's take our circle and have it kind of come down a little bit like a triangle, like that, but it's still going to be a circle. So it'll be a circle that comes down to a little bit more of a point. And then here, I'm just going to put a guideline going down the middle. We'll go ahead and put a nose. And then we're going to do something fun. We're going to draw eyes that are super big. Super huge eyes, and then a mouth down there, and then we'll add in our ears, put in the eyeballs. So we're totally playing around here with these faces now. Better erase that guideline. I don't need it anymore. And let's go ahead and fill up this space and do one more. This one, we're going to kind of take this shape where it kind of comes down here a little bit. So we're going to take that shape and do the opposite. Kind of the teardrop face. Here we go. For this one, we'll go ahead and put the ears up higher. Maybe put a nose like that. The nose is kind of a teardrop as well. And then we'll put an eye there and an eye there. And then the mouth right there. So with these face shapes, we can have a lot of fun playing around, and just by the simple, basic happy face that we see here, we can take, let's add ears to that too. We forgot to add the ears. We can really change it up to have all types of more fun faces that have so much more personality and character. Now, of course, these are just the very, very light sketches. If we wanted to, what we could do, and I'll just go ahead and do one to demonstrate. We can take our eraser, gently erase our lines, and go over our drawing with a pen and create a little bit more detailed character. Just so you can see one that is a little bit more clean and not so loose. Fix that line a little bit. And there's a start there. Now what we can do then is really add a lot to this character. We could maybe add in some more lines to the eye. Add in some eyebrows there. And maybe if we really wanted to have fun, we could kind of add in some hair. And erase this original line. And this line. And we could even fill in this area black. You fill in the nose. Let's see, do we want to give him, let's give him a super skinny neck. And let's see, maybe we'll just put a few stripes here. And because let's give him some, just a little bit more, make his eyelids pop out a little bit more. Take our white, and we have a really interesting character there. So the things we can get just from those basic shapes, playing around with them, having fun. We could then, if we wanted to really add some life to this character, kind of seems a little bit more emo looking to me. Maybe we'll throw in just a quick gray for his shirt. Maybe a red. And there's our kind of weird character there. Okay. It's not my favorite character in the world by any means at all, but oh, I forgot one thing. Gosh. Yeah. There we go. And there he is. Kind of a fun, silly looking character. But you guys get the point of what we can do with very simplified shapes, altering those, changing those around. We can create some fun faces that are a little bit more interesting than your stereotypical happy face by altering those shapes, adding eyes, nose, and a mouth, and then some ears too. And then you can go through and add everything else. Now, these aren't fully polished cartoons or characters or concept designs. This is just the basics of shaping the face. Now that we've learned how to draw basic head shapes and then to add the eyes, nose, mouth, and ears in different positions to create different characters, we have an assignment for you. Your assignments for this class is on your own to take those basic shapes of the cartoon head and create your own individual character.